It's the Two Gems Podcast.
Oh, you brought the water cups out. Nice little burp there, Sheridan.
Thanks.
Hello, everybody.
How you doing?
Me?
Just me walking steps under here.
Is that actually what you were doing?
So today I have on an accessory, and it is called... No. My Fitbit.
Oh, my God. I don't even... Did I have on an accessory?
Go get it yourself. I'm not helping you. A life-changing... It's still there.
A wrist wipe. There it is.
A life-changing accessory.
You think you're so cool with your Fitbit
The
now.
Fitbit Versa 2. Fun fact.
Is it sponsored?
No, it is not.
Okay.
It was many years ago, and I didn't actually use it. Don't tell. But I actually took it out of the box, and I knew I would eventually use it. Let me just be clear. I just didn't know when the time would come. But so, okay, backtrack here a little bit. Matt and I have decided that we want to get healthy. Now, I'll just keep talking because he's being an idiot. This has nothing to do with I guess it comes full circle with the way that we look. But more importantly, I think we just want to be feeling better. Okay, do you need a moment? Let me know when you're ready to come back.
Okay, I'm back. With you talking over there, I couldn't even swallow my drink. Oh,
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
You're so cute.
So I go through this thing almost always after we have kids. And it's funny that this actually just dawned on me. Every time that our youngest is around 2 years old, I decide to make a change. I'm not sure if you've ever paid attention to that.
I don't think I have.
But it's usually when the kids are around 2. So for Theo, that was when we went away to Cuba. He was 2. And that's when I started taking better care of myself.
Oh, okay. Sage
turned 2 in August. Here I am. I don't know what it is. It's really weird. Anyway, so I have this Fitbit on, and the Fitbit, I don't know what the hell it does. I think it does a lot of stuff, but all I really wanted to see was how many steps I walk in a day. Okay. So I didn't realize that so they say, Google tells me that to be an active human, you should be taking 10,000 steps a day.
It's ludicrous.
That's what they say.
Ludicrous.
So they say from 4,000, they say the average American, I didn't see anything for Canadians, takes 3,000 to 4,000 steps a day, just so you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm right in that average bracket.
So 4 to 7, I think it's 4 to 8 maybe, is not overly active. 8 to 10 is somewhat active, and then 10 plus is you're an active person.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see how many steps I take a day.
We were always curious about this.
We were always curious about this because I never stop moving in the house. And I'm like, I'm just going to see how many steps I take a day and then how many I have to make up for, right? By whether I'm going for walks or taking Theo out on his bike, whatever. So the past, how long have we had this on for? 4 days?
3 or 4 days.
It's I act like it's been months.
We have a massive.
72 hours. I have realized.
We have a lot of legacy data
that
to look at here.
A lot.
More than me.
My feet never stop moving. I walk about double what you do.
I think you take mini steps, though.
Can you just give me praise?
I'm
just talking about myself right now.
Oh, my God, it's ridiculous.
So
how many steps you take?
The last 3 days, I have looked at my watch at the end of the day, and I've taken over 12,000 steps. And Matt has taken 5. So now he's crying about it. Now he's crying about it. He's like, you take mini steps.
No,
and then Matt showed me his walk. They're giant steps. He's like, this is what I do.
I feel like my steps burn more calories, though.
All to say.
No, I haven't even been hitting 5. I think yesterday I had 3,400 or something.
Well, do you know what, though? This watch, I don't know about yours because Matt has the Apple Watch and I have the Fitbit. But when I was sitting down the other day, it's 65 steps left in the hour. And I got up and I did something. And I moved and it was good job. And it's kind of fun to have a little reminder for you. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm the least competitive person in history. Well, there must be others.
That.
There must be others, but I don't have a competitive bone in my body.
What about when I was whooping your ass at Monopoly over and over?
We never played Monopoly.
wait, it wasn't Monopoly. It was
There must have been another relationship. So serious?
Oh my God.
You
Wait
are
a minute.
good.
That was
Yes. You are good at crazy eights.
No, crazy eights. Just whooping your ass. You were so mad.
I was mad because I'm so good at crazy eights. So it just
so you
doesn't
are
make sense. I don't, maybe just with you, but in general, I don't find myself to be a competitive person. Growing up, I wasn't. Like I was very.
Monopoly. Wasn't even you.
I actually hate Monopoly. I hate that game.
Oh, I love Monopoly.
I hate it. It's
so
competitive.
fun.
I don't like it.
We should really get into playing games.
Like game nights and stuff.
Yeah, with our friends and shit.
That's actually, I always get,
Yeah,
we're really going off topic here, hun, but I love friends that have friends over for game nights, and they all bring like an app and like a dip and stuff, and they just hang around and play games. The problem with me is I go to bed at 7:30, so
Yeah.
that makes it
So
really
you have
tough.
to go over for game night like 2 in the afternoon.
It makes it hard to have a life, a social life, I know. So anyways, I've been walking lots of steps, and then we've also decided to try intermittent fasting.
Finance.
We don't really know much about it. Like we're no health experts here, but in my head, I'm like, this makes sense that you would let your body recharge.
Yeah, right before the episode, I backed a couple high chews in my mouth for game walking.
But it was in between the time
they're
frame,
good.
so you're okay. And so they say, like, if you don't actually know what you're doing, the best intermittent fasting to do is have a 16-hour time frame, right? Mm-hmm. So we've been stopping at 6 or 7. 6?
Yeah, we've been eating from 10 to 6.
Yeah. And I will admit, for me, the hardest part is definitely in the morning. I miss my coffee a lot.
Yeah.
And for you, would you say it's more at nighttime snacking? Like, I think
No,
you're doing a
God,
pretty
no.
good job.
No, I don't care at night. The hardest thing for me is just, like, I get up so early. Yeah. And I haven't been the last couple of days because now it's annoying because Sage gets up early too. So it's like, what's even the point of getting up early? I'm trying to get up early to get my work done.
Right.
But like if I come down here 4:30 or 5 in the morning, that's a long stretch before I'm eating. Where like if you don't come downstairs till like 7 or 7:30, it's like you only got a couple more hours to go.
Well, our day starts so early. I was just talking to that with my mom, and I said, like, it's really hard because Matt's up at like 5 and he's awake till 5 to 10, not eating or drinking anything. That's tough.
It's 5 hours.
Yeah.
Without a coffee too.
Yeah.
Like I can't have any sugar or cream in the coffee. I'm not drinking black coffee. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a little tough. But it's all right though. We've been doing it.
Well, it's like anything. I think, you know, they say it takes 3 days to form a new habit or break an old one or something like that. So even already waking up, I am feeling a little bit better today because it's rainy and maybe it's not helpful. But with the lack of
why I
caffeine.
have the headache.
Oh, definitely. You'll have it all week.
I wondered why I had a splitting headache this morning. I thought it was the coffee.
No.
Because I haven't been having coffee.
Yeah.
It's the rain. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry
That's
to
okay.
completely interrupt you. That's what it is, though. That's why I have a freaking migraine right now. Yes,
Yeah.
my head is like splitting.
Right.
That's it.
So, yeah, we've been doing that. And what else is new, hon? I feel like I was really on a tangent and you just laughed the whole time.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
It was just,
Forgive
it's so funny watching you talk about this thing. Like, you think you're all that with that Fitbit on it. Yeah, she's got her feet tapping underneath the table, trying to get some extra steps
No,
in
but
on
you
it.
know what? There's like...
It's impressive. It's very commendable. You've been like really going in. Like the other day, you had me drop you off on the way home up the road so that you could walk home.
It's just something like... Sometimes I get so much in my head, and I think a lot of us do, where we're just like, don't do it. No, too lazy, whatever. And then as soon as you make that change and you actually, in your mind, change your mentality and like actually switch it over, you're good.
Yeah.
And so I think I'm there now.
Yeah.
But even so, like the other night, Daphne's like, do you want to come to Bar Sophia? And it was at 8, the reservation was. And you're like, just go, Sharon. You have to live your life. I'm like, I know I have to live my life, but I better not do it day 2. Like, I need to get a bit of a routine going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, because
it's hard because if you cut off drinking and eating at 6, then those evening activities, especially if they're spontaneous, like if you know a day or two in advance, you can kind of like rework the schedule so you won't eat till like 12 or 1 or 2 in the afternoon kind of thing. Which you could do. I mean, I think I could probably do that if I had to.
Yeah.
But then what that'll do is that'll bump those hours and get you like some extra hours on the end of your day.
I wonder though, because again, like we haven't done that much research into it, but like let's say we want to go on a date night next weekend when my mom's here. and we just say fuck it and do whatever we want and eat and drink, and the next morning eat and drink, like, does that affect everything, or do you then just start again and it's fine?
No, I think it's everything.
Like, you just gotta live too, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, you're like
Within
cheat
reason,
day kind of things. I mean, but the thing is just don't go so ham on those cheat days that you wrecked everything that you worked for last week or two. You know what I mean?
Well, also, granted, when you're eating in a smaller like window, whatever, you're gonna be eating less.
Yes.
Than if you're eating all hours of the day.
And that's what I find I've been doing, to cut the snacking rate out.
And again, like, it's not like it's not like we're trying to be the world's fitness people. It's just we both are like, we're lazy, we fart around, we eat shit, and let's just switch that up. It's as simple as that. It's not like I'm over here like, everybody get on a fitness level.
I weigh 212 pounds. Like, that's a lot of weight considering I'm 6 feet.
He's 5'11".
No, I'm not. I'm 6 feet tall. Anyway, that is like, I'm in the like massively obese category according to my
Google.
height.
Yeah.
So, for a point of reference, I mean, it's like that bag of rice that we always buy, like the 20-pound bag of rice. Like, throw that over your shoulder and then walk around with that all day.
Well,
and
it's evenly distributed on
No,
your
but like,
body,
just do it. Just put it on top of your head and just try and walk around for 10 minutes with that.
Yeah.
It's like exhausting.
Right.
And that's probably about how much weight I'd like to lose. It's probably about that 20-ish pounds, something like that.
Right.
And you have to think that's that whole freaking bag of rice.
I know.
I guess
Well,
a lot
we're
of weight
getting
could
older. I actually saw you last night when you woke up and to have a pee, and you were literally hobbling over to the toilet.
Okay, that's not even funny. That's going to be like arthritis.
I know, but I'm watching you do it now, and I'm like, you certainly weren't hobbling when we got together.
Yes,
at
I was.
28, right?
Yes, I was.
No,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
weren't.
No, I kind of. I'm in pretty good shape, like, as far as like my back and everything for my age. Like, I know a lot of people, like even your brother, it's had a really rough go with his back and his knees and stuff. But my mom has arthritis in her legs, and so like I'm probably destined to have it, and I can kind of feel it on those cold mornings when the season starts changing.
Well, now I feel like an a-hole, but
no, and then I get up in the morning, I'm like just stiff.
Yeah.
It just sucks. Like,
do you stretch?
Yeah, I get up first thing and stretch, Sheridan.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, I probably
And I know
should.
it's so funny because even the other
It's just
day,
funny when you ask me. It's like,
No, but
when you weren't looking the last 8 years.
this is a perfect example of how you're just like, yeah, sure, nice stretch. But it's like, I don't know, get up and stretch for 5 minutes a day. And it sounds so ludicrous, but
No, it doesn't sound ludicrous. It's when you said, do I stretch?
No, but do you get the point I'm trying to make? Like how in our brains it seems so ridiculous that you might get up and stretch, but it's like, I don't know, come down here and sit in the playroom and stretch out your body for 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You know what I mean?
Wow, who are you?
Oh,
Really?
I'm just saying.
You're like a female Tony Robbins over there. Get me all pumped up.
Oh, good old Tony.
Oh man, so we had some friends over for dinner last night. That was nice.
That was nice.
Yeah.
You going anywhere with that?
Well, I was gonna lead day into one in Greece. Oh my god. No, but it was nice having people over last night. It's been a little tiny bit because of our backyard renovations that you're not revealing to anybody. But
no, sorry.
You're still keeping that a secret.
I don't know
Man,
why. Now I feel like I've come so far. It's like I need to. I can't just like throw it up now. I'm waiting till it's like done.
Like anyone actually cares.
They do. Some people do. Yeah, we had them over, and I know where Matt's going with this, but
well, Daphne wanted a shout out on the episode too. She's like, hey, Antoine, we're gonna be on the episode tomorrow.
oh, Daphne. So Antoine works over downtown at Sacred Heart, and they're taking a field trip. They're going away for March break, which is 2 weeks, not one. And he's a chaperone, and he's going to Greece and Italy, which is one of Daphne's most she can't wait to go there eventually in life. So they were out at dinner. Now she did say last night that he had mentioned it in passing, like that maybe he was going to sign up for it, but that she didn't really take it seriously and wasn't really paying attention to what he said. But then they went out to dinner the other night. Daphne's like, oh, by the way, last night at dinner, Antoine just told me that he's going to Greece and Italy in March for 2 weeks without me for school. And it's not even like he said it to Daphne. He said it to the friends. He's like, yeah, I'll be going to Greece and Italy in March.
Oh my god.
That's very funny.
It's way funnier if you know Antoine.
It is. He's a funny guy. He marches to his own drum.
Very true. I was saying to I was saying to people the other day when we were at the dinner thing there in downtown Dartmouth there a couple weeks ago for Pat. I was saying to people at the table that Dickie didn't like Seinfeld.
Okay.
He doesn't like Seinfeld.
Neither
He
do
does
I.
not. Do you really not like it at all?
I don't love it.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
People that don't like Seinfeld just haven't given Seinfeld a chance. It's the funniest show ever. And the thing is though, you can't dabble in Seinfeld. You can't watch one episode and love it.
Okay.
Like you need to probably realistically commit to like 5 episodes so that you get the little like nuances of the character. And the more that you are around the show and the more you divulge it, the more you get the little idiosyncrasies and everything between the relationships and stuff. And it just keeps getting funnier.
Okay.
So if you put Seinfeld on for 20 minutes, you probably aren't going to laugh at all unless you know the characters.
Right.
I find Antoine, Antoine's one of those people that like he doesn't try to be funny at all.
I know.
He's not even funny. But the more that you know
Don't tell him that.
the more that you know Antoine, the funnier he gets. I think a fine wine. He just he just keeps getting better and better the more you're around him.
Yeah.
So when you told me the other day that it came out at a dinner, they went out to East Side Mirrors for dinner with another couple, and while he's sitting there, it comes out in conversation to the other couple that he's now going to Greece and Italy for 2 weeks. It's like locked in. Oh my God.
During March break, which means that both the kids will be home. It's not even like it's not a time where the kids are still in school and daycare. She's like, did I mention this is during March break?
Yeah, did I mention?
Oh, they're so funny.
Oh, I love them both so much.
And and she did say, she's like, and it's the same with you and Antoine, I find are quite similar in terms of like parenting and being a father, is that she's like, well, if I told him I was going, he wouldn't even question it. He wouldn't care. He'd be like, okay, goodbye. Like it wouldn't even phase him for a second.
Yeah.
And her and I are a little bit similar in that it does phase us. Okay, sneeze away.
Excuse me. Fall allergies, guys, still here.
Yeah, still here.
But this is, I feel like there's more to talk about with this.
But then you said that you think that a lot of fathers and dads are like that, where they're just like, they don't care and they'll let you go do whatever you want. And I said, I completely disagree. And I think that many men in relationships will actually say to their wife, like, no, you're not going. I can't do this without you, whether that be whatever it is at home. Like, I think you're more so of an anomaly.
Well, maybe I brought that up at the wrong time, but I more so think that men just kind of, what is the term, kind of fly by night kind of thing? Like they just,
you're not as like organized. You just do whatever.
yeah,
Is that what you mean?
yeah. I'm organized with my work stuff, but as far as my day-to-day life stuff with the kids are so disorganized. I'm very much like I'd be the type of person that would like 2:00 would roll around day and be like, do you want to surprise the kids with a hotel tonight and just do that kind of thing, where that's not how you roll. You're like 3 weeks in advance at 2:00, we're going to leave and do this. Like, that's just who you are. And so like, I don't even really know where I'm going with this. I just feel like if you, and I'm not going to lie, of course I'd be a little worried about stuff. I'd be like, oh my God, it's going to be a lot on me while you're gone. Like, for sure. Right. But I think that I would slough it off a lot easier than if I just revealed to you out of nowhere that I was going to go to Aruba.
There's a couple things I could say. I didn't want to interrupt you because you were such a sourpuss when I did that last episode, and now of course I'm forgetting.
Deep thoughts.
But I was going to say that I actually think that I'm a lot more easygoing than you even know. And I say that because if you were to look at my brother, we were both raised in the same household, right? And you have my brother who is extremely routine, everything, that sort of thing. And I, because I married you, have changed, and I'm a lot more, like if you said, let's have a hotel night, I'd say yes. Whereas perhaps if I wasn't, I'd be like, are you insane? There's school tomorrow. There's this, there's that, right? But I'm like, sure. Like, I find I go with the flow a lot more because I married you. Whereas if I married somebody that was a lot more routine and organized in that, then I'd probably like stick to that lane. Yeah. But you've kind of like molded me into somebody that's much less organized and willing to go with the flow for sure.
It's a balancing act.
If you talk to everybody that's in my life, like my dad, my mom, my friends, they all say how much we just do whatever all the time. And we have literally no routine at all. Yeah. And I was actually talking to Melissa about that when we were down at the beach, because we're getting to the age now with our kids that it's like, okay, do you take the plunge and put them in things, or do you not, right? And keep them out and kind of let them live their lives.
What, like extracurricular activity?
Yeah, like sports, exactly. Because Kai is now 7. I started dancing when I was 6. And if people don't know this, I was a competitive dancer from the age of 6 until grade 12. So that's 6 to 18, right? That's 12 years in my life that I spent at a dance studio every single day except for Friday nights, I remember. So it was always after school, and then on Sunday, all day competitive. Fridays, or maybe it was Saturdays. There was one day I didn't have dance. That's it. 6 out of 7 days, my parents were committed to bringing me to dance.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Jesse was in football, and he was in competitive football. That was his thing. All the practices, all the games. So our lives were centered a lot around sports. I was in swimming, volleyball. Jesse was in basketball. Like, we were a sports family.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because...
So were we too.
But what I find interesting, because I'm not a competitive person, as I say, and I remember when I started dancing, because of course when you're young, they're trying to see who's good and who's not, right? Like, who's going to keep going and do the solos, who's going to be in the big groups. And I remember when I got the piece of paper, the dance teacher had like written out what we could be in, what dance numbers we could be in, and you say yes or no. And I had a duet, I think, or maybe even a solo. And I looked at my mom and I was like, absolutely no. Like, I don't want to do that. Whereas other girls would have been like, oh my God, a solo. And I was like, every large group put me there in the back because I was the tallest, right? For me, it was just social. I had a great time, and it was nice to have a separate life compared to school in dance. But our kids are now at the age, and you played hockey your whole life, right?
Yeah.
Competitively?
Yeah.
Goalie?
Yeah.
So your parents were dedicated to bringing you to hockey.
Oh my God. It was
Did
so
Hannah do
taxing
any
on the
sports?
family.
Did Stuart? Like, did anybody do anything else?
We were in martial arts. Stu was in martial arts too, and then Stu played baseball for a bit, and we all did soccer.
But like in terms of like competitive, you're going.
No, the only one that did anything competitive with it was me.
hockey.
Yeah, I was like really into hockey. It was like basically all I did as a
Right,
kid. It was
right.
all I did.
Yeah.
Like when I wasn't playing ice hockey, we were playing road hockey
Right.
every single day, all day,
So,
and it was amazing.
well, that's it. And that's it, right? And it is two completely separate childhoods, because I could look back on somebody like my friend Renee, who was a childhood friend of mine from grade 6 on, and she didn't, well, maybe she did do sports, but it wasn't like me and dance, and she had a totally different life, right? She had all the time in the world after school and for all this stuff, and I didn't.
Yeah.
And I would be envious of that sometimes. I remember, and I'd be like, fuck, I gotta go to dance again. But I personally think it was an amazing way to have my childhood, and I felt like I learned a lot from it, and it sure as hell kept me out of trouble.
Well, I like, just so you know, I wrestle with these thoughts like
Well, that's
all
what
the
I'm
time.
saying. Me
I
too.
think about it all the time, and I have these conversations with the other men in my life. Like Jim and I had a huge conversation about this not that long ago, where it's our kids are, and his kids are as well. They're getting to that age now where it's like if they're going to do anything worthwhile in sports or like those extracurricular activities, now's the time to get them in so they don't get like left behind.
Right.
Because if you try and put Theodore into hockey at 8 years old, he's going to suck. It's going to be a
Right.
joke.
Unless
It'll be
he's really good.
Well, it'll be embarrassing
Yeah,
for him, right? Because
right.
he won't be good compared to everyone else that's 8 that's been playing since they were like 4 or 5 kind of thing.
The thing is, too, like, as a parent, maybe it's a little bit selfish, but I don't know if I also want to be committed and tied down to driving my kids around and being a taxi driver for the rest of time.
It's a massive commitment.
Massive. And it's funny because both of us have that from our childhoods and being in sports, but because of our personalities and the way that we both are, like, if I were to go now and say, like, okay, I'm getting Theo in this, and this, you would go along with it. You would. And you drive him and you do this. It's just, it takes us actually doing it and committing to it. And neither of us are good at that.
Yeah.
So instead we're kind of like, okay, we'll throw them in judo and we'll throw them in gymnastics once a week. But there's also something great to that too, where they're still going out and doing their thing, but then they're not, tied down to something. It's very confusing. I don't know what to do.
It is, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think we can probably talk about this for a while. Like you and I, I'm just going to use Theodore and hockey for an example, because that's obviously, Dad wants him in hockey, right?
Well, also I will just mention that Theo is very athletic. He has great hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
I watch him do things and he's very athletic. Kaya is not so much. Kaya is more into arts and like creative side, but Theo, like, he can do something. He'd be very good at something.
Yeah.
So that's good to use him as an example.
Well, yeah, and I just say it's just such an obvious one. Like, it just seems like if you're in Canada, like, and you have a freaking 5-6-year-old boy, it's like you throw him into hockey.
Right.
It's like something to do. But then on the flip side of that, it like that becomes what your family does. It's all we'll do, like all winter. Every single weekend, there won't be one weekend off. So it's not like even one time we can be like, oh, let's go up and frolic in the snow at the cottage for the weekend and have a few beers and a bonfire and go side-by-siding in the snow. Nope. It's hockey every Saturday, every Sunday for like 26 straight weeks or whatever. Yeah. And then you've got 1 or 2 practices a week. And that's if they just do the bare minimum. Then you could get into hockey camps and try and go further with it. And then... So then basically Sage would eventually get into it and Kai would be coming to the rinks with us and all that stuff. And it just becomes literally all your family does. So it's like if Theodore every day was like, Dad, why am I not in hockey? I really want to be in hockey. The kid would be in hockey. But then it becomes this thing as an adult where are we just trying to follow a template so that we all fit in with what other families do? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like,
great
because
question.
I feel like my only reason for wanting to put them in is just because like I almost feel peer pressure looking around me and I'm like, all my contemporaries' kids are in activities, but ours don't really care, but we do stuff with the kids every weekend.
It's so
like
true.
They're never not doing something. So like my ideal activity would be, let's go buy snowmobiles and go snowmobiling all winter with the kids and like have bonfires out on lakes and stuff and hanging out and doing that kind of shit. And that appears to be how our kids like it too. But then at the same time, if I threw Theodore in hockey, I'm just using Theodore again as an example, but if I threw him in hockey, he'd probably really love hockey.
Totally.
And it would be fun. And like, I really like the idea of like having a Timmy's in the rink and hanging out with all the hockey parents and yelling and everything. That's fun. It's all kinds of, that's how I grew up.
Well, the thing is,
I wrestle
too, like,
this all the time.
When you commit to putting your kids in sports or an activity, you have to follow through, because if you're saying like, oh, well, let's just go up to the cottage and say, let's go snowmobiling and you can miss a camp or whatever, then then Theo, for example, feels left out with his peers, right? Yes. And I know that because when my mom would bring me up to the cottage every summer, there was dance camp and I missed almost all of them, and then she'd throw me in the last couple weeks at the end, and they had all made new friends and new circles, and I'm like, and I'm coming in, and it was fine. But I remember being like, I'd rather be at dance camp with my other friends, but my mom's like, I want to go to the cottage and have a life, right? So it's and you're right, like I think perhaps some parents, I'm definitely not generalizing because it's not a fact, but maybe some parents are like, I don't know what to do with the kids, so let's put them in sports. Or it's not genetic, but it's something that they've done as their own when they were kids. And what's that word I'm trying to use?
I don't know.
Well, like they went into hockey when they were kids, so now they're putting
a routine, family tradition.
Sure, there you go.
Is what you do.
So maybe it's that, or maybe parents are thinking like, I don't really want to hang out with my kids all the time, so I want to put them in activities and do that kind of stuff. Yeah. Whereas you really like hanging out with your kids. I do too, but I'm going to say that honestly, you probably have more fun with them when you go side-by-siding, when you take them out and you do that kind of stuff. I'm trying harder to put myself out there and go down the slides and play on the playgrounds and stuff. But you actually really like it. You like taking the kids out. You love going and doing stuff like that with them.
I go swimming with them all summer and things like that.
And that's also just as lovely. So, I don't have
This would be a good one for the comment section, I think.
Yeah.
Because, even to get it, looking at it from another level, it's like you really, when your kids are in sports, you're teaching them a lot about
so much
teamwork and about being held accountable.
Yes.
Showing up to things on time. And like,
absolutely.
Like when I got home from hockey practice, I had to hang all my gear up, or my gear would get all sweaty and stinky and shit. So like I'd have to go home and like hang the gear up, and Andrew would put his foot in my ass if I didn't do it. It was like we had to be held accountable, and taught you a lot about routine and a lot about work ethic and friendships and commitment and sportsmanship. And then I think I carried a lot of those qualities into the workforce, and it was like I was fun to be around, and like a good leader and stuff like that. And
I agree.
I don't know.
100%.
It's like, what the freak do we do?
I know. I agree 100%. I don't even disagree with anything that you just said. And then the thing is, you don't put your kids in all the time. They just dabble in it, and then they're just not great at it, and then they don't even want to do it, right? So I don't know.
I don't know either.
Ugh.
I don't know. I don't know. And then another side to this is that our children were kind of like, their prime years for kind of starting stuff was right in the pocket of COVID.
That's true.
Where everything was super weird for 2 years. And like, if you weren't vaccinated, you couldn't even go into the arenas with your kids.
Right.
You literally weren't even allowed to go in. And then if you went in, you weren't even allowed to go in the dressing room. Even if you were vaccinated, you can't go in the dressing room with your kids.
And that's
They'd
scary
have to
for
go
the
in.
kids.
And then I want to say for a long time, their parents weren't even allowed to actually go in anything. Even in judo, there was a while where we weren't allowed to go in.
I know.
And then when we did eventually go in, we were all masked up
I
and
know.
we were all like standing there like
I know.
fucking sardines in a can, masked up and everything. Like, it just took a lot of the fun out of sports, I find, for kids. Like, I want to go in there and yell with my kids and laugh and see everyone smiling. And then instead everyone's like walking around like robots with freaking things on their face and everything. It just took the fun out of it.
For sure. And especially, you know, knowing how we grew up with sports and how it was always such a fun activity. You're totally right. That took a lot away from the kids. And I think they're still young enough, 5 and 7.
Definitely are.
We can do it if we want. I just, like, Theo does mention it. He always says he wants to go on hockey. But I'm like, does he really, though? Or does he just think he wants to? I don't know.
Yeah. I think we should put Theo in hockey. Yeah. And I think that Kaya should continue with her dance stuff. Like, I think it's really good for her.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And then Sage will just go with the wind. We'll see where he ends up. But he'll whatever Theodore does, Sage will do too, because he just wants to copy his brother.
That's true. He does.
God, he's cute. This morning on
Sage is talking a lot.
Oh my God, he is so freaking cute.
I know.
But anyway, this morning he was in the back of the truck when I was dropping the kids off at the bus stop. Yeah. And this is the first time, I think, or at least the first time that Sage was sitting there that I dropped him off in the vehicle. So he couldn't see the bus because he's all like strapped into his seat and everything. And so and the bus is behind me and the kids are jumping out and running for the bus. And so the door opens up and he says bye to them or whatever. And then the door slams and then like he can't actually see what's going on behind him. And then he goes, Dada, where's Theo and Yaya? It's so cute.
Yeah, Kai's Yaya and Theo's Eo.
Yeah, Eo
where
and Yaya.
Eo, where Yaya?
Yeah, where EO, where Yaya. Oh my God. It's like if I could just hit the pause button on our kids right now and never let them grow up.
I know.
It's, oh man, time is just flying right now.
I know. And
everything with Pat the last couple of weeks probably was just another reminder of just how fast life goes. But my, I think Sheridan relatively hates this about me, like how much I think about time and stuff. You despise that I talk about this all the time, but like when Mom was out here on the weekend, Mom was just kind of, don't remember why. Maybe it was with the Queen's passing. Mom was just talking about why it meant a lot to her because she kind of grew up her whole life like watching the Queen and watching her age, and the Queen's birthday and my grandmother's birthday were only 4 days apart. Like, they were born only 4 days apart. So, like, they've grown up every day of their life together. So, like, my grandmother...
What a contradicting subject the Queen is lately. But we won't even get into that.
Well, yeah, that's not... I'm just using that as a point of reference for just, like, how fast time goes. And, like, here this woman is that we've seen on our bills our whole life, and she's gone now. She has passed. And I've heard about her my whole life.
I've heard nothing about her. I don't even know what she looks like, honestly. Like, I
oh my God. So anyway, so just thinking about how fast time goes, and Mom was just saying, man, like, you know, Matt, there's gonna be days where you like complain about the racket here and all this stuff and all the hoorah going on. You never get a minute to yourself or anything. And then she's like, Mom said, there's gonna be a point in time where the silence is deafening. And it's so true. Like once the kids leave home, and Mom was bringing up all these like weird little like mundane things, and she's like, you know, you're gonna go out there, that tree that Theodore swings on out there, that one right out here, you know, the one that he like. It's not even a special tree. It's just a tree where there's a rock beside it. So Theodore runs up and he grabs it and he swings and kind of jumps off it. Mm-hmm. And Mom brought that up as an example. She's like, there's going to be like, when they're gone out of this house and you're just roaming around your property without kids here, you're going to walk by that tree and just remember every time that he swung on that thing and you would yell at him to be careful and not hit his head and everything. It's like all those little like fleeting moments. It just passed. It's just like, man, time is flying right now.
See, I don't like to think like that at all. I'm like, this is going to be great. The kids are going to grow up. They're going to have their own kids, their own families. We're going to travel. We're going to have so much fun. You can't think like that. I know what you're saying.
I love that about you.
Thanks. But it's
because you
true.
just made me feel better. Because I was about to start crying. Like
No, but like, yes, of course. And when I look back on videos of the kids, I'm like I just was going through trying to make that real, and I'm like, oh my God, they were so young, and nah. But it's like, if you don't embrace the future and what's going to happen, then you're just going to be sad all the time. I can't wait to see what our kids turn out like as adults. Like, trust me, I don't want to fast forward the button, but like, I am so excited to hang out with our kids as grown-ups. Imagine you, Theo and Sage, like, we're going out to watch a game and you're hanging out with your boys. Like, how fun is that? Incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then like they're FaceTiming us. It's like, sorry guys, we're with Antoine and Grease.
yeah, we're the Antoine and Grease.
He's gone back.
You just
how you doing? But it's true, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I think too, like, parenthood, as we've talked about, really takes. Like, Daphne had a friend down too, and she was saying that she realizes, because she's like, I was thinking maybe I want kids, but now I'm not sure, like, after being with the kids, because she was over at Daphne's and her kids are so lovely, as are ours, but it's like they take over everything.
Oh my God,
they change your whole life is flipped upside down, and now like it's everything that you are now a parent, and that comes first, you know. But as they get older, you kind of slip into a new version, and it's going to be so fun.
Well, they almost become your friends a little bit.
Yeah. Well, if you've done a good job raising them, not a good job. I mean, I shouldn't have said it like that, because a lot of people do good jobs. No, because you know when people say, like, if you have a good kid, and it's like, what's the definition of that? But if you work really hard with your kids and you love them and you love who they are as humans, then yeah, it's so exciting to have them when they're older be your friend. Yeah. You know, because at some point,
like, you have the ability to mold your children,
right?
And sure, there's like some of them might, you know, slip through the cracks a little bit, and no one really knows why, or it's chemical imbalances or what it is. But I mean, like, our kids, we can mold them into whatever we really want to do. Well, if I spend every night of my life up there painting with Kaya, she'll pursue it. She'll be like, my dad does this with me, and she should be proud of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If I took Theodore out skateboarding every day of his life, he'd be into skateboarding. He will just do whatever I do. Why do you think that Kamiko and Scott's kids go snowboarding and skating every day, and our kids are like, I want to watch ATV videos?
Yeah, it's true.
Because
you're right.
Because it's what I've molded them into. Mm-hmm. Like, most people's kids don't go four-wheeler videos. Yeah. Like, I molded them into that because that's what I like doing.
Right.
And Tim's little guy, he's already watching people bike, and he's on Tim's back at the bike tracks and everything, like, absolutely, with a helmet. He's so freaking cute, man. Oh my God. Where am I going with this?
I don't know, huh?
Oh, so no, and I just want to say, like, I don't reflect on time in a because I just want to sit around, like, sob about how fast life goes. It's more so just it oftentimes is as a reminder, or almost like a kick in the ass to do those things with your kids that you don't really feel like doing. Like, oh my God, Theodore, I don't want to go swimming in the ocean again right now, like, down at the beach. But then I, like, 99% of the time end up doing it because a little light bulb goes off in my head, and I'm like, man, like, there's going to be a time where he doesn't care about swimming with Dad anymore. Like, get these freaking swims in while you can and be there and make all those memories with them, right?
Yeah.
And again,
the good news is it doesn't happen overnight. It's not like we wake up and all of a sudden our kids are 19. You know, we have all the time to enjoy.
Seems like it does.
But you know, I know what you mean, because sometimes I swear I feel like I was just pregnant with Kaya.
Oh my gosh.
And now I'm like, I look at her and she's so lanky and so tall, and her big teeth are coming in. Don't do that.
If Kaya did every day of her life again, like, if she lived that again, she'd be almost 15 years old, Sheridan.
I know.
15.
It's nuts.
What is happening? Like,
I don't know.
Oh, man.
The other day in the car, we were driving and we were talking about long distance relationships. Mm. And I said, we're just going to cut off the kid chat because I feel like we could talk about them forever. Yeah. Although I am, just before I go on to long distance relationships, I am actually curious onto people's thoughts about the sports thing. Because I think it's a big topic, and it paves the way that you do your kid's childhood. So I'm just curious if you feel like letting us know. What are you laughing at?
My notes are so
What does your note say?
I have one that just says, imagine falling naked. I don't even know where that came from.
Falling where?
I don't know, just like running down the road and being naked falling. I'm like, it's crazy that these little pieces of cloth make falling so much easier. I don't even know.
You wrote that down.
I just wrote it down, just a little jot note. Imagine falling naked. I don't even know, like, what was I doing when I thought of that?
Okay, so my point has a lot more to it. Yeah. Imagine falling naked. Yeah, it would suck. Yeah, it wouldn't be great. My point was about long distance relationships, and I was saying to Matt that
Ladies, who do you want to hear
that Matt and I did long distance for the first part of our relationship. And I think we were talking about this when we were down at the Dingle. I don't know why. I remember I brought it up and I said something like, I think it's a really, really good thing that we did long distance at the beginning because we both, I remember now where this came from. So Matt and I got together via Facebook Messenger, really. If you need a little reminder.
Incredible.
I messaged him after he broke up with his ex and I broke up with mine. This is a little synopsis. And I messaged him and I said, so sorry to hear about your breakup. Like, hope you're okay. And then Matt and I started talking that night and we never stopped. And you were living in Halifax and I was in Ottawa. And we basically
what if you never messaged me that night?
I know. It's nuts. Anyway, and I had never, I did long distance once, but not exactly properly. And whatever that means. Yeah. And Matt and I did long distance from, when did we start talking?
We started talking like February, I don't know, like let's say February like 10th or something of 2014.
And I moved in at the end of July, I think, or beginning of
like
August.
That, yeah.
So that was like
July 24th,
March, April,
I
May,
want to
June,
say
July,
it was.
August. Yeah. That's 6 months. That's a long time.
Oh, yeah. It was so fun.
Long distance was a lot of fun with you because we visited each other regularly. It's not like we had the finances that we could hop on a plane and do like a quick weekend stay. And I remember one time I came back, like I left and then I decided to come back like a couple weeks later. But long distance is not for the faint of heart.
No,
like it's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lot of communication issues because it's a lot easier when you're not around that person to just say bye and ignore them or not pay attention to your text messages or whatever. And we were also both trying to heal our own hearts separately, like on our own, while also trying to navigate being in a relationship together.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that if you and I lived in the same place and we got together, I'm not so sure we would have made it. What do you think?
Why?
Because I think that we would have fought more just because we might not have been able to give each other the space that we needed. I don't know. I just think...
You think if we were both in this city, that none of this would have happened?
I think taking those 6 months to myself was really, really, really important for me. And although we were together, I still was able and allowed to do whatever I wanted, right? So, like, I didn't have to answer to you or to anyone, and I could go out and do whatever, whether that be I'm going to Standard for one night, I'm going here, and like I was faithful 100%. I was loyal to you, but I didn't feel like I had to be like, oh, okay, now I need to hang out with Matt. Like I was discovering myself, mixed with a little love over on this side that I could go visit, right?
Yeah.
Like you were doing your own thing, going down to the bars and hanging out with friends.
I was riding my motorcycle like
all the time.
Minute of the day.
Like you got to live your life sans girlfriend, but then have me on the side.
But the only thing I was thinking of was seeing you again.
I know.
Oh, I couldn't wait to get back to Ottawa. I'll never forget there was one time where you picked me up at the airport and you had this cute little friggin' dress on with these little
I probably couldn't get that over my leg now.
Oh my God, you looked so cute in that dress. And I think that was the first time you took me to your cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just remember you in that little cute friggin' sundress thing, and it had like polka dots on it, or like
had flowers.
Like little colorful.
And it had an open back, like a little thing on the back. It was a short dress.
And it was so cute on you, and like, oh my God, I loved you so much. Like when we were going like 2, 3, 4 weeks without seeing each other, and then I would see you, and it was just like, oh my God, it was just it was like a feeling that you can't even actually describe. It was just like this feeling of just being complete. You know what I mean? Like, because, oh man, it was hard leaving you. Every time I got on an airplane and left, it was just so hard. Like, I remember one time I just sat there with my headphones on. It was just tears in my eyes. I was just like, oh my God, this sucks leaving you.
I know.
And then when I came back, I'll never forget that time you had that cute little dress on. I was like, oh my God, this woman is beautiful. Holy frig. And then we went to your cottage, had an awesome weekend together. And
Was that my birthday?
Maybe it was your birthday. On your birthday, was Carrie there that time, or who was there on your birthday?
No, that was Callie, Talina, and Carla.
Oh my God, that was an awesome time.
I know.
That was so much fun.
Although it wasn't that fun for me because of my parents, but yes, fun.
No, it was still a really good time, though.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Your dad and I were having a big debate as to who could roll a better joint.
And was it you?
Oh, I destroyed him. Love you, Petey. Rolled a way better joint than you.
Fascinating that you used to smoke a lot of weed.
I didn't even smoke weed there. I just rolled the joints.
So one thing I find quite commendable about Matt that he's always done since we got together is when he wants to stop something, he'll stop something. Like
when I really want to stop something.
Yeah, like it takes an interesting person to be able to just do that cold turkey. And you've done it quite a few times that we've been together.
I'm very self-aware.
But I can't believe, like, you, as you quoted, smoked weed all the time.
All day, every day.
And then one day you were just like, I'm done? Like,
yeah,
do you remember?
well, I mean, yeah, I do remember very well. I just felt like I wasn't being that great of a father to Aiden, is what it was. Like, my old stepson in my last relationship. If you've been watching every episode, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I don't know. I just felt like I was just kind of watching time slip through the cracks, and what was I doing smoking weed? And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And I just gave it up.
And did you miss it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had to break a lot of habits because that was my life.
Yeah, I'd say.
Like when we went camping with friends or literally anything, there was just endless amounts of joints. Like endless. Like I'd go away for a night, like if we were going out with friends stuff, and I would have a box of pre-rolls. Like I'd go out with like 25 joints. I would smoke them like a pack of cigarettes basically.
That's
and then
insane.
just went cold turkey. And then now I'll smoke probably twice a year, maybe something like that. And it's been that way for like the last 10 years.
You've
12.
never smoked weed with me. Like not.
Yeah, except for at the cottage. Like if I go to the cottage, I'll usually have a few puffs, and if I'm going up with all my buddies, then we're at the cottage. Like, oh my God, yeah, I'll smoke weed for sure. But I don't know. I just don't really like who I am on it. It just kind of makes me. I don't accomplish as much when I smoke. Okay. And some people do. Some people
totally do.
buckle down and get her done when they smoke. Me, I'm kind of the opposite. I kind of become a little bit more of a vegetable. And see,
somebody will write in the comments, you're taking the wrong stuff.
Yeah. Well, and I think for me too, I have so much energy all the time. I'm a lot like my mom that way. My mom is very like bounce off the wall kind of thing. And I found when I smoked weed, I lost that. But that's one of my favorite things about myself. I love my energy and my enthusiasm. Yeah. And if I smoke weed, you don't see any of it. I'm very like mellow and chilling out. But it's like, I'm not ready for that yet. I'll do that later in life. I want to be like full of gusto and energy right now. Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done? What's the first thing that comes to your mind?
What's the craziest thing I've ever done? I guess, okay, so Drysdale Falls.
Yeah.
I remember when I was in grade 9, so how old would I have been?
14, 15.
Yeah, like 14 years old, something like that. Yeah, I was still playing hockey at the time. I was up there picking blueberries all summer trying to save up for goalie gear. That's what it was. And when I was up there picking blueberries on the blueberry field, I bumped into some older guys from school.
Yeah.
And they were like the like super cool guys in school.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, Matt, what's up, buddy?" And they ended up saying they were going to go to Drysdale Falls. And they were taking a car to Drysdale to go swim in the waterfall and shit, and they invited me to go with them. So I was like, all right, yeah, man, I'll come with you guys. Mm-hmm. So I go there for the very first time. I had never been there before. And when you get to Drysdale, there's like the top of that waterfall, there's the cliff at the top. Like, and the cliff is very high, like in comparison to the waterfall. Like, because now I will only jump from the waterfall. Like, I'll go into the pool at the top and jump out of the waterfall. But I walked up there, and I marched straight up to the top of this thing, and I was around all these like cool guys and shit, which kind of like upped the ante a little bit, and everyone was scared to do it. None of them would do it, and I just walked right up to the edge. And I was trying to show off a little bit, which has me like terrified for Theo when he gets that age where you just do stupid shit just to like fit in or whatever. And I went up to the edge of the cliff, and I just jumped off. Because I was like, man, everyone's watching me, and all these guys are here and shit. I'm like, yeah, I'll show them what's up. And I jumped off that cliff. It was ridiculous. Like, I could have died for sure. Like,
Did they jump after you?
No.
Wow.
No, I was the only one that jumped. It's a pretty freaking... I've never seen any... Like, I've personally... None of my friends have ever done it again. I've never seen anyone do it. And it was...
Idiot.
Yeah, it was... Like, that's probably the top of mind thing that comes up for, like, craziest shit that I ever did.
Like
That's
thrill.
And I mean, I survived it just fine.
Yes.
But it's a jump.
If you didn't, yeah.
It's a jump.
Right.
What about you? What would be your crazy?
Well, the first thing that comes top of mind for me is definitely bungee jumping.
Yeah.
Like, that was nuts. What was I thinking? I don't think I would do it now, given the fact. Well, I don't know. When we went to PEI and we did that ride, you know the one you did it with Kaya last year, where it goes up and then down and up and down.
Oh,
and up
yeah.
and that feeling, you know the feeling where
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like inside your belly, and Kaya says it makes her belly tickle. That's what not skydiving, what bungee jumping was like. Like, it was the craziest thing I've ever done. And again, I didn't do it thinking about it at all, because we went to, I was in Cabos with my ex and all the people that worked for him. And we were doing, we did like a zip lining thing, and everyone else had decided they were going to go bungee jumping. And I wasn't even on my mind. I was like, you're all nuts. And then at the end of the zip line, they all went out. And I also should mention that it was not on a solid surface that you jumped off of. Like, the people brought us out on like a gondola into the middle of, like, there was just nothing. It was just like a little thing that you sat in and waited your turn. And I went first. No, I went second.
Going first is the best.
Erica wanted to go first, but I was like, I need to go now, because if I don't go now, I might change my mind, right? And it was definitely... it was so high, Matt. Like, I think it was 400 feet up, and like, it was so high, and there was no water underneath, no nothing. And it was like swaying back and forth. And I just jumped off, and I just remember thinking, like, I can't even explain the feeling.
And your dive was perfect.
And I
like,
did an actual swan dive. The guy after, because they took pictures, and the guy after is like, have you ever done this before? And I'm like, nope. I'll show the picture. I'll pop it up here, because I had my arms perfectly out, my toes pointed. It's like, you'd think I was a professional.
Yeah. You look like you knew what you were doing.
And it was insane. And it kind of, that thrill, like, to feel alive, is something that I've been thinking about trying to find again, whether that be like skydiving or like, when people do like whitewater rafting, like just something to feel a thrill. I see why people do it. After I did that, I was like, okay, I see why people do this, for the thrill of it. Like, it's nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah, I probably on a different level, but I get that same thrill when like my buddies and I go to like some crazy hole, like some mud hole or something on like our built up ATVs, and it's like trying to get through it. Kind of gives you, it's hard, right? You end up buried and you feel like you're sinking in quicksand. It's like coming over your waders, and it's cold and everything, and like you're trying to get out. There's like a little bit of like, there's a rush that kind of comes with that, of trying to get to the other side of something.
Yeah.
But obviously not the same as skydiving.
No,
but
absolutely not. How
Trying to
dare
find
you compare the two?
Trying to find something like lights a fire inside
Right.
you a bit, right? What's the least crazy thing you ever did?
That's a stupid question.
Taking my steps.
Yeah. Still under here tapping away. I'm just trying to see. You looked at your phone for nothing? Another
No,
one
I did.
running naked.
No, falling naked.
What?
No, I mean, I've got some stuff, but a lot of them are like big topics that I don't think we should just throw in at the end of an episode.
What would you change about Sheridan? That's a question somebody had asked. And what would you change about Matt?
What would I change about you?
Oh, so many things, Todd. Like, where do I start?
Pulls out a couple sticky notes, right?
Funny you should ask. Has it all written down.
Opens up his Apple Notes. He's already written it down. Well, sometimes I think I complain about things about you that I probably shouldn't. Like the first thing that comes to mind is like how organized you can be with stuff. It kind of bothers me. But then at the same time, I think if it disappeared, I would fall apart. Like your organization skills kind of... Earlier you were saying that my disorganized...
Yes. Yep.
I
know where you're going with this.
But kind of rubbed off on you. And it's almost like we're kind of meeting in the middle now. You've made me better, and I've made you worse, but we're kind of in the middle. Now it's good.
I know something you would like to change about me.
I'd put what is it, Sheridan?
I would probably put finances in there at some point and being more aware of money. That's definitely something I think you'd like me to be on the same page as.
Yeah, I hate that about you for sure.
That's one
You have
thing.
no concept of money at all.
It's not that I don't have a concept. I just have a bit of a different mentality than you do about it.
What's that? Just burn her till she's
No,
gone?
mine is like also like YOLO, as dorky as that is. I actually hate that so much, but it's true. Like and it's good to have both, because if we were both the same way, I mean, it wouldn't be good. But I think there's like a happy medium between just living your life as well.
Oh, and I perfectly embody the happy medium.
Yeah.
Like, look at my life. I have all the fun in the world, but still want to plan for a future, Sheridan. Like, there's going to be a time where the money dries up, and we have to have like a reserve that carries us forward.
Right.
Like, that's
Life.
called life. You got to plan for that shit.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I really like you. I think so. I think like when
I can even think of something else. You obviously wish that I was more affectionate. Like, here I am naming off all the things.
The affection thing, for sure. That would probably be the biggest thing.
I bet.
And it's not even like you always act like it's like not who you are and so hard to do. It's like if you took 1/100th of the amount of time you spend on your phone in a day. I literally mean that. So like if you spend 100 minutes on your phone, which I know you spend more, if you took 1 minute a day and just said, Matt, I love you and I'm proud of you for everything that you do for this family or anything. Here's a kiss. Love you, babe. Thank you.
Will say,
like,
though.
Like I would be like flabbergasted. I would be like, thanks, babe. Like, wow. It would just, like, the fact that you can't even take 1 minute a year say something nice.
Matt, that's so dramatic.
No, like,
No.
when was the last time where you were like...
So for you, you're saying it's saying something nice? It's not...
Yeah, just the whole package. Just being affectionate.
Yeah.
Like, even because sometimes I feel like when we go to have sex, it's like a chore almost. It's like, okay, it's been a little bit here. Might as well get up on the bed here. Like, I'm talking about, like, true
If we
love.
actually want to get into this, like, it's more than that. And it's that when you're telling me to be affectionate and you're asking me to be affectionate with you, and I've made so many comments saying, I just want a kiss, or I just want a hug, I just want this, but you always have to say something stupid or do whatever.
Wow.
You do, almost. And disagree with me all you want, but like at least 85% of the time, you're looking down my shirt, you're doing something stupid. And if you say I'm lying, you're a liar.
85%.
If we put you on like an actual lie detector and I said, how often does Matt turn whatever this hug is or whatever into something stupid and inappropriate? At least 85%.
So what about the hug I gave you this morning?
That was nice. Thank you.
What about the other one I gave you this morning?
Which ones?
At any point in time was I inappropriate today?
No, but
At any point in time was I inappropriate yesterday?
Are you making a cognizant effort to not be inappropriate? Are you realizing when you come up to him, be honest with yourself, are you realizing when you come up, you're like, okay, I better not stick a finger up Sheridan's butt, or I better not look down her shirt, or
Sometimes those things are cute, though.
Or
It's
I better
like-
not say something so inappropriate it's completely the wrong
But
time.
you know,
Agree
okay,
or disagree?
Okay, sure. But okay.
So you're making a conscious effort being like, I'm just going to go up and give Sheridan a little hug and a kiss on the
It
cheek.
does not have to be a conscious effort.
You
No, no.
sure about that?
No, but here, okay. So here's another thing to think about.
Okay.
Instead of being so annoyed that you married a sexual man that
Yeah.
likes doing
Sure.
shit like that to you,
Okay.
why not look at it as like the next time that I come up and like grab your breasts or something like that when I kiss you or something? Why not just be like, man, he's like really into me after a decade.
But
of being
there's
with
a
me. I
difference.
think you're amazing, and being around you just turns me on.
And I
Like,
love that so much. But
imagine if I wasn't.
Imagine if you just hugged me and said those things instead of coming up behind me and squeezing my
Oh
boobs
my-
together and like.
Or you're acting like I'm Terminator
No,
or something. It's not like I'm coming up like all rigid, like, give me those boobs.
Sometimes
Oh my God, I come up and like
do.
a kiss your neck, give a little rub, and then all of a sudden the rub's a problem. It's like, man, I'm into you.
I know.
And then one day, if that just disappeared, you'd be sitting there going, man, I'd do anything to have Matt come up behind me
no,
and
but like
grab
the
my
other day
asshole
when
right.
the other day when you were sitting at your desk and I came over and sat on you and gave you, or was that just this morning?
It was this morning.
Yeah, and gave you a nice hug and a kiss, and that was it. Like that brings me joy. I feel like there's a time and a place for everything.
What would you change about me, huh? Or is this it?
What would I change about Matt? Great question.
Just lay it out.
Well,
I want to hear it.
I'm just trying to think about
Don't even try and filter it. If you have something, say it and we'll talk about it.
Well,
Getting my steps in.
Yeah. I sometimes do wish that you
would get at least 10,000 steps.
I can't
Let me
even
have
think.
it.
I can't.
No, you were going to try.
Just for the record, I gave you all of my things. You didn't actually say anything. I was like, oh, and you hate this, and you hate this. So give me something to work with about yourself you think you could change. Yeah, Matt's over like, I'm perfect. Say nothing.
Oh, you can't think of anything? Really? This is that perfect.
We've talked about this before on another episode because some of the things are coming back to me, like how I don't like that you're so up and down sometimes with your mood swings, and then I'm get shoved into them. Don't love that.
It's a Gemini in me, babe. Blame it on my astrology.
At this exact moment, I can't really think of anything.
I've been pretty good lately. I don't think I've been like overly annoying lately. I feel like we've been the stuff in the backyard, the big secret has like really sucked up a lot of my life the last.
Telling me to start stepping. I just got to buy.
Oh my God.
165 steps left.
Mine's saying shit.
Yeah.
Nothing.
You're saying you're too lazy. Don't even bother. I just want to see if there's one more quick thing.
Sheridan, what would you change about me? There's got to be something.
Well, I just talked about the affection thing, and I think when we first got together, you were very romantic. I was
romantic.
Yeah, I think you were a romantic guy. I think you were very thoughtful. I think that you would, write me really kind things. And you're going to tell me that you've done this now and that I don't care about it, but that's not true. And
it's true.
And
you don't care about that shit. I buy you flowers, you don't care, right?
Well, we talked about this.
I've written you nice notes and you don't even acknowledge them. Buddy.
No, that's not true.
Yep.
I was thinking today that I really miss you, and we were sitting, like when I came over and kissed you, I was like, I miss you, and I know what's happening again. You're like, okay, well, Sheridan's not going to please me, so I'll do it myself. So you're off in your own little world. You're not even listening to what I'm saying.
Hold on, you just keep talking for a sec.
Well, no, because that's something that you should have bounced off of me when I said that I know the frame of mind you're in right now, and it's that you're like, okay, I'm just going to give Sheridan her space, but I do miss you, and I would love to have a date night with you soon.
Yeah, I agree.
Matt's in the zone about something.
I'm just.
Also, side note, I'm wearing absolutely no makeup today. And if you are watching instead of listening, I don't know why I always feel like I need to put makeup on and do my hair and do all of those things. And I just want to say, if you are a woman watching this and you're like, I always do my hair and do my makeup, it can be very liberating to just not wear makeup, to not do your hair, and just live your life. So I'm feeling great.
See, okay. I wasn't even listening to you. You do look great though.
No makeup, no hair.
So here's a message I sent you a few days ago.
Okay.
And I only had to scroll back a few days. And this is not a good one. If you gave me another 10 minutes to scroll around, I'd come up with like a bunch of examples.
You sent me this 2 days ago?
But I sent you a meme and said, this is at 6:30 in the morning. I sent you a meme that was really funny. Like actually really funny, and you didn't even acknowledge it. I said, oh, here's a meme for you. And then I said, fuck, I'm down here bawling my eyes out again. Life just isn't fair. Fuck. And I'm down here like having like a really emotional moment. I was really sad about Pat again. It just hit me again. And it was just like super hard. I was down here literally crying at 6:30 in the morning. And then at 6:42, you messaged me back and say, can you put the ice packs in the fridge? Like, no acknowledgement of how I'm feeling or anything. Yeah, that was your message back. So I'm saying to you that I'm crying and I'm having a really hard time with this. And then you say, can you put the ice packs in the fridge? You're just weird like that. Like,
I suppose if I were to come to my own defense there, I would say that I think you are an extremely dramatic person in all facets of life. So you could also have been saying that about something on your computer. I was just sitting here waiting for you to start this podcast. Listen to what I'm saying. I was just sitting here waiting for you to start this podcast, and you were on your computer like fucking blah, 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 about something that was bothering you that you couldn't figure out.
a server was down and
all I'm saying is you made that seem like it was the end of the world. So it's hard sometimes for me to gauge and to understand, right? Like you saying, I didn't realize that you were talking about Pat, and you just saying, I'm having a really hard time. I'm like, what is he even referring to? Or I probably didn't even read it. I don't know. I'll apologize. I'll pay more attention to your feelings. And will you be more romantic?
Oh, I can be romantic. I love you, Sheridan.
I love you too.
No, and this is just life. It comes with ups and downs, and like.
Oh, the waves of relationships is a whole other thing. The relationship things that you go through, because, like, we can end it off on this, but throughout life, you're working on yourself all the time. You are your own person. You are Matt. I am Sheridan. And then on top of that, you add in a partner that you're trying to navigate life with, and that you're trying to love and enjoy and make the most out of life. So now you have 2 things. And then you add on your kids. Now you have 3 things. And then you add on your job, and you have 4. And then you add on your friends. And then you add on, like, there's so many things that you need to focus on in your adult life. But of course, you know, as you've said many times, it comes down to your relationship being number 1, because if your relationship is in a good place, everything else kind of falls into place. And I firmly believe in that. Like, especially
when we're happy, the kids are happy.
Yeah. And
when we're happy, our work gets done well.
And I actually think that's more you than me, if I'm being honest. Like, I know that when you and I are really close and we're having a lot of sex and we're talking a lot and we're like, you'll do anything. Like, you're in just a la land. And that shows. And then, of course, you know, you fall into these ruts where I'm like, what are you giggling at?
No, I'm just laughing.
I see the lube bottle going down in the shower. It's just disappeared now.
Oh, my God.
I'll order you another one. That is acts of service, hon. Yeah. Just sees a brand new bottle in the shower. He's like, wow, what a wife.
No, I was going to say, like, we haven't been sexual at all in, like, the last, like,
I know.
Couple months. I mean, like,
you know what? That actually bothers me too. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell.
No. All I'm saying
because that's not true.
What do you mean?
It hasn't been a couple of months.
No, I'm not saying a couple months without sex. I'm just saying, like, without it being, like, spicy.
A regular occurrence.
Yeah. It's been, like, a couple months of, like, really, like, you know what I mean?
That's
like when this show started, we were, like, in a pocket there. We
you
were, like,
and I have always had ups and downs with our sex life.
Always.
You mean
you've had ups?
Yeah, me, for sure.
I've been up a lot.
Yeah. Literally. And where was I going to go with this? Crap. I'm like, I'm just going to leave that on the desk.
We've had a lot of ups and downs.
Yes.
In our relationship.
Yes.
Sexually.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know what I was going to say. It really, really, really bothers me. I should put this down on the podcast so that everyone's hearing. When you and I are intimate and we have a great night and we like really connected, for example, that night when I rolled, you know, the one where I was spontaneous, which I never am. And this was so exciting for you. And it was really lovely.
It was amazing.
It was so special, good. You know, it felt like it was really nice. And then the following day, after we did that, you then made a comment because you wanted to do it again or something. And I said something like, oh, whatever. And you're like, well, it's not like we've done it a lot recently. And I was like, no, but actually think about that. And so from my perspective, that like made the effort and like actually put it in. I was like, you know what? I'm going to wake Matt up. Like, I'm ready for bed. You know, I hate like night sex. And it was so special. And then all of a sudden 2 days later, because we haven't done it in so many days before that, you make a comment. And so then I'm like, well, now it's like, do I really want to do that again?
I wonder if you might change your whole.
Can you see where I'm coming from at all?
No, not really.
What?
Yeah, I can a little bit, but
yes.
No, but I don't know. I don't think that you can. Anyway,
absolutely.
I'm really curious if you keep your Fitbit on, if sex will count as extra steps.
It won't.
So.
You're not moving. All I'm gonna say, you're not moving your feet. You're more like running around.
Put your Fitbit around your ankle. Let's get to it, boo.
No, but Matt, I'm actually serious about that.
About what?
I know you're not really taking in what I'm saying, but I feel like it's always never good enough. It's never enough.
We could make it good enough for sure.
No, it's never, you're never like just satisfied. It always has to be like, oh, when are we doing it again? Blah, 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 instead of just like being content with what is. You know what I mean?
I mean, how long have we been recording here? 1 hour and 8 minutes.
Jesus, wrap it up.
No, do I throw the curveball in that takes us another 10 minutes? Or
Sure, go ahead. Do whatever you want.
When are women just going to realize that men are simpletons? There's not much to this.
And when are men going to realize that women are complicated and it takes more than that?
Trust me, we're well aware of how complicated women are. All you have to do, you just said a minute ago, you just said, when we're having some sex and like everything's good, you'll do anything, Matt. It's so easy to make a man Superman. Just acknowledge, appreciate, and have sex with me. Like,
oh my God.
Say 4 times a week.
Yawn.
Let's say 4 times a week. 4 times a week, and I'll be bouncing off the walls.
Do you know what it is?
Dishwasher
Sure.
getting
Great.
unloaded,
Mary
like
Poppins running around,
coffee coming up to you every morning. Like, it's such an easy thing to do.
Well, I've talked about this.
And it feels awesome.
I've talked about this before.
And no,
I actually talked about this. I remember back on the first couple episodes saying that as a woman, I had to change my perspective and realize it actually shouldn't have anything to do with you. I shouldn't feel like I have to have sex with Matt again. It should be about me. And that I want to, and that I want to enjoy those feelings. But all I'm saying is for future reference, even example, here comes another example. The other day when we were in the shower and I was like, clearly I did not want to do it, but I was like, okay, let's do it up. And then the next day I said something and I was like, we just had sex yesterday. And you're like, that doesn't count. I'm like, that doesn't count?
Okay, that one's probably
what more do you
too
need?
graphic.
What more do you need from me? What do you mean it's too graphic?
4 days a week.
Oh, Matt, you sound like an idiot.
Every couple days. You know what I mean? And it's awesome. And it's not like I ever leave you hanging.
No, of course not.
Well, I mean, it's not of course not. I mean...
Well, you specifically, of course not. That's not the type of person that you are.
Yeah, I don't know.
But this has been an ongoing issue. Look at me clapping. Our whole relationship. And maybe we didn't realize it from the beginning because we were long distance. So then when we saw each other, we'd be together for a week and we'd just have sex all week and then we'd leave, right? And even granted at the beginning...
You keep talking for 1 second.
At the beginning of our relationship, you don't even know what I'm going to say. At the beginning of our relationship, Matt, as we've talked about, was so broken and so, in his head that we weren't even sleeping together, right? So, then we moved down and then I moved down from Ottawa and then I got pregnant quite quickly and that kind of changed our whole course of sex there too because nothing felt good. I felt like shit and then we had kids and now here we are. And what are you looking for? What?
Keep going. I'm done. And now I just need to wait for a response from people.
A response from who? Who are you texting? Are you asking people how often they have sex with their partner?
Well, I'm just throwing it into my group chat. I said, who wants more sex in their relationship? And I bet you unanimously, every man in here is going to say me.
Well, I don't know what to say. Like, men are from Mars. What is it? Men are from Venus. Women are from Venus. Men are from Mars. Like, we have different makeups. All I'm saying is I think you need to understand what the other person, try and meet in the middle.
But the thing is I like for me, I feel like I do the things that should spark interest in you. Like I wear my heart on my sleeve. I always give you honest answers to things. I always give you.
Over the last couple of days, I think I've been saying to you that I wish you were more romantic.
But I say romantic things
romantic
to you all
being
the time.
like giving me a foot rub or like coming and just pillow talking. Like we're both guilty of that now. Like I read my books and you cry about that. Like you used to love it, now you hate it. Now it's gonna read your porn.
You're reading porn. Well, I'm over there with a flaccid penis getting nothing.
You should read. I should read the books to you.
I told Sharon, the next time I see you over there reading one of your little porno books, I'm just going to flip Pornhub up right beside you. Guilt-free.
It's not the same.
How is it not?
It's not the same. I'm reading a whole story about characters and life and stuff.
Some of these pornos are like an hour and a half long. Full stories. Imagine.
They do popcorn for us.
It's got a bag of mini eggs.
You're an idiot.
Oh my god.
You can't do that when we're
too
fasting.
funny.
Okay. Well, I guess on the next episode, we will answer the question of if all of your friends would like to have more sex or not.
Yeah, none of them are seeing this right now, which is super annoying.
Subscribe.
More sex is always good. LOL. And the dots are dancing right now.
They're probably.
Although I will say that as I age, my need for it has lessened significantly.
Oh, no, there you go. Not the answer you're hoping for.
No, I mean, I don't know. No, it's just, I don't know. It's just,
sex can be.
It's just such a fantastic thing. Like
Right.
it's, I don't know. I just think it's like,
I'm tired.
I love you. I love you, babe.
I love you too so much.
Well, let's go not have sex and make another coffee.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Like,
man.
subscribe. Thanks for being here.
Okay.
I'm going to walk some steps.
Yeah, I'm gonna take 100 steps to the coffee machine. Probably pour another one. And what time is it? 12:04. Gotta get to work. Get some
Bye.
more stuff done. You guys are the best. What episode is this? 12,
So we're on like 16.
16, 15?
16.
I don't know what we're at anymore.
We're at 16. We're doing a great job.
Yeah.
I think.
Were you gonna do a dirty little secret or what?
No, I don't have any, I don't think.
I was gonna say we're supposed to be ending on a dirty little secret, Sheridan, every time. What do you got?
Oh, shoot. I don't even know.
Sheridan's dropping the ball on the show. I'm telling you. You're
Oh,
supposed
Matt's
to be coming
crying
in.
so much about the show. Are we going to talk about that?
You're supposed to be coming in with dirty little secrets. It's a part of our format. Just gonna send them to me. Give me access to your Sheridan Ingalls account, and I'll open the dialogue with people. Sheridan, we can just do it that way.
No, I don't have any right now.
What do you got? What's your last?
I hate
bullet?
when my husband goes down on me. I'd rather get straight to the D. They obviously don't know what they're missing.
Oh my God! Or maybe you don't know what you're missing.
No, well, that's a whole thing. We could dive into that because there's stats. There's so many statistics on how many women can actually have an orgasm with penetration, and it's not very many. I believe it's about 25%.
Crazy.
Yeah. Even myself, I'm sure if I focused on it and we were having sex, like penetration, that I could probably maybe make it happen. But I'm just way too in my own head and distracted. I don't know.
Over there thinking of your Fitbit.
Oh my, no. I'm just.
How many steps did I take today?
Now, there's also just people that don't even enjoy doing that kind of stuff or doing it to others. This is a whole conversation. So.
Okay, I love you. We'll see you guys next episode. Wait, what are you gonna keep talking?
Maybe I can find another one.
Oh, you found them. She found a little treasure trove of dirty little secrets.
No. Bye.
Okay, next episode.
Okay.
We'll see ya.
It's the Two Gems Podcast.